Commander Zaxvor of the Galactic Dominion stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Inevitable Conquest, watching the small blue planet rotate slowly on the main view screen. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture of contempt among his species. "So this is Earth," he said, mandibles clicking. "The final obstacle in our expansion through this galactic arm." First Officer Krill approached, data tablet in hand. "Commander, our scouts have completed their initial assessment of the dominant species. The humans." Zaxvor pronounced the word as if tasting something unpleasant. "And they appear remarkably underwhelming, sir." "Elaborate." Krill tapped his tablet. "Their physical capabilities are subpar. No natural armor. No claws. Minimal strength compared to our warriors. Their sensory perception is limited. They see only a narrow band of the electromagnetic spectrum and possess no telepathic abilities. Weapons, primitive, mostly kinetic projectiles, some directed energy. Nothing that could penetrate our shields." Zaxvor made a sound that approximated a laugh. "What about their political structure? Military response capabilities? Divided. Thousands of separate governments. No unified planetary defense protocol." Krill paused. However, the commander's upper eyes narrowed. "Yes, there is an anomaly in the data. The humans have been involved in countless internal conflicts, yet they have never united against a common external threat. We have no baseline for how they might respond to us." Zaxvor dismissed this with a wave of his upper limb. "Irrelevant. We follow the standard protocol. Send an advance team to establish a beachhead. We will start with a small continent they call Australia. Minimal population, isolated. Perfect for our first colony. As you command." Krill bowed and left to prepare the invasion force. Zaxvor turned back to the view screen. Another easy conquest for his glorious record. The Dominion Council would be pleased. How wrong he was. Private First Class Thomas Jackson, TJ to his friends, was having the worst day of his military career, and that was before the aliens showed up. IT started with oversleeping through his alarm, rushing to base only to realize he'd forgotten his ID, then getting chewed out by Sergeant Wells for both offenses. Now he found himself assigned to waste management duty at the remote Joint Australian-American Training Facility in the Northern Territory Outback. Character building, Sergeant Wells had called it with a smirk that said he was enjoying this far too much. So here TJ was driving a garbage truck across the dusty expanse of the Outback at sunset, collecting trash from the outlying monitoring stations. The radio played classic rock as he drove, singing along to distract himself from the monotony. "Just 6 more months," he told himself. 6 more months, then your enlistment's up, and you can go back to college. The truck bounced over a rut, and TJ cursed as he spilled coffee on his uniform. Perfect. Just perfect. That's when his radio crackled to life. "All personnel, return to base immediately. This is not a drill. Repeat, all personnel, return to base immediately." TJ frowned, reaching for the handset. "This is PFC Jackson at Monitoring Station 7. Can you repeat the last message?" "Over." Static answered him. "Hello, base. Do you copy?" More static, then something that sounded like screaming. TJ slowed the truck, a chill running down his spine despite the oppressive heat. He was about to try again when a blinding light filled the sky above him, so bright he had to shield his eyes. When he looked up again, his jaw dropped. A massive ship, and there was no mistaking it for anything manufactured on Earth, hovered over the horizon where the base was located. Smaller craft descended from it like metallic raindrops. "Holy, are those? No way." TJ stammered, unable to process what he was seeing. An explosion bloomed on the horizon, followed by another and another. The base. Training kicked in. TJ grabbed his rifle from the passenger seat, an emergency pack he always kept stocked. Sergeant Wells had drilled that habit in him, at least. Without thinking, he veered off the dirt road and drove the garbage truck behind a massive rock formation, cutting the engine. His heart pounded in his chest as he tried to make sense of what was happening. Aliens. Actual aliens. Attacking the base. "Think, TJ, think," he muttered to himself. What would Sergeant Wells do? Before he could answer his own question, he heard an unfamiliar sound, something between a hum and a shriek. One of the smaller craft was approaching his position. TJ slid out of the truck and pressed himself against the rocks, praying he hadn't been spotted. The craft slowed, hovering just on the other side of the formation. TJ heard a mechanical sound, then footsteps. Heavy, methodical footsteps, punctuated by strange, clicking noises. He held his breath. Sweat trickled down his forehead. The footsteps grew closer. TJ gripped his rifle tighter. The figure rounded the corner, tall, insectoid, with 4 arms and gleaming black armor. 4 eyes swept the area, then locked onto TJ. Time seemed to freeze. Then the alien raised something that was unmistakably a weapon. TJ reacted on pure instinct, squeezing the trigger of his rifle. The shots echoed through the Outback. The alien staggered backward, greenish fluid spurting from its shoulder, but it didn't fall. Instead, it made a high-pitched sound that TJ interpreted as a call for help. "Oh, crap," TJ muttered, realizing what he'd done. First contact with an alien species, and he'd shot one. "Sorry. I'm really sorry. You startled me. Do you understand English? Can we talk about this?" The alien responded by firing its weapon. A bolt of energy scorched the rock inches from TJ's head. "Guess not." TJ dubbed behind the garbage truck as more energy bolts followed. He needed a plan. Fast. The truck, it had a full tank of gas. An idea formed. A terrible, desperate idea. He reached into the truck, grabbing his cigarette lighter and the rag he used to check the oil. Then he crawled underneath, unscrewed the gas cap, and stuffed part of the rag into the tank, leaving most hanging out. "This is such a bad idea," he muttered as he lit the RAG. TJ ran, sprinting away from the truck and diving behind another rock formation just as the tank exploded. The blast sent the heavy vehicle tumbling through the air, directly toward the alien and its craft. The resulting explosion was far larger than TJ expected. The alien ship must have had some highly volatile fuel source. A fireball rose into the darkening sky, and debris rained down around him. When the dust settled, TJ cautiously peered around the rocks. The alien and its craft were gone, replaced by a smoking crater. "Holy crap," he whispered. "I just killed an alien." Then, louder, "I just killed an alien." His triumph was short-lived. In the distance, more craft were approaching. TJ looked down at his standard-issue rifle. "I'm gonna need bigger guns." On the bridge of the inevitable conquest, chaos reigned. "What do you mean, wiped out?" "Sucks for it. An entire advance team?" Krill's exoskeleton paled with fear. "The data is clear, Commander. All 30 warriors, 6 scout ships, destroyed." "By what?" "You said these humans were defenseless." "They should have been. Our scouts reported their base was neutralized in the initial bombardment." The tactical officer interrupted. "Commander, we are detecting unusual movement patterns. The humans appear to be..." He paused, confused, organizing a primitive response. "Show me," Zaxvor demanded. The view screen shifted to a thermal imaging view of the ground. Small heat signatures were moving with purpose, setting up defensive positions, establishing a perimeter. "How many human defenders?" The tactical officer checked his readings. "That's the anomaly, sir. We are only detecting one. Zaxvor's voice rose to a shriek. "You are telling me one human destroyed our advance team?" "The data suggests yes." The commander's rage was interrupted by an incoming transmission. "Sir, we are receiving a communication from the human." "Put through." The view screen flickered, then showed a dust-covered human male in what appeared to be a uniform. He was smiling, which Zaxvor's cultural database identified as either a friendly greeting or a prelude to aggression, depending on context. "Hey there, Thomas Jackson, United States Army. But you can call me TJ. All my friends do." The human's tone was bizarrely casual. "Look, we got off on the wrong foot. One of your guys pulled a weapon on me. I reacted badly. Things escalated. You know how it is." Zaxvor was speechless. The human continued. "Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I have got your fancy alien guns now. Pretty cool tech. Took me about 5 minutes to figure out how to use them. Oh, and I have wired explosives throughout this entire area." He held up a detonator. "So maybe we should talk this out instead of, continuing this whole invasion thing. This is absurd." Zaxvor finally managed. "You are one primitive being against the might of the Galactic Dominion. Surrender now, and we might preserve your brain for study before we eradicate your species." The human smile widened. "Yeah, about that. See, I'm what my sergeant calls a people person. Super friendly. Get along with everyone. But here's the thing about us humans." His expression hardened slightly. We don't take kindly to threats against our planet. You are in no position to negotiate, Zaxvor declared. Actually, I think I am. While we have been chatting, I have been broadcasting our conversation globally. Right now, every government on Earth is watching this. They know you are here. They know what you are planning. And they are mobilizing. Krill checked his monitors. Commander, the human speaks the truth. We are detecting increased communications across the planet. Military forces activating worldwide. And TJ continued, I have been sending detailed scans of your weapons and ship design to our scientists. Fascinating stuff. We are quick learners, you know. Zaxvor felt his certainty wavering. This was not proceeding according to any invasion protocol. Here's my proposal, TJ said. You leave. Now, no one else gets hurt. We pretend this never happened. Or, he shrugged, I detonate these explosives, taking out another chunk of your forces, and then every nation on Earth unites to fight you. Your choice. You are bluffing, Zaxvor said, but without conviction. Try me. The human's finger hovered over the detonator. 10 seconds to decide. Zaxvor looked at Krill, who subtly made the Dominion gesture, signifying extreme caution. 10-9, Commander, Krill whispered urgently. The Dominion guidelines for first contact specifically warn against engaging species with unpredictable response patterns. This human is exhibiting behavior outside our models. 8-7. We have a fleet of warships. Zaxvor protested. 6-5. And we have 7 billion people who just watched you threaten their planet. 4 whole. Zaxvor shouted. We will withdraw. Temporarily. TJ's smile returned. Great choice. Pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and if you are thinking of coming back with reinforcements, just remember, I'm the friendly one. You really don't want to meet the humans who aren't so nice. The transmission ended. On the bridge, silence reigned until Krill spoke. Commander, your orders? Zaxvor stared at the screen, mandibles twitching with fury and, though he would never admit it, fear. Recall all forces. We're leaving this system. But sir, the Dominion Council will understand when they review our data. This species, these humans, they require further study before we attempt colonization. As the inevitable conquest broke orbit, Zaxvor couldn't shake the humans' final words from his mind. If this was their friendly one, TJ collapsed against a rock, finally allowing himself to breathe normally. His hands shook as he set down the alien communication device and the detonator, which was actually just a power button from one of the alien ships that he'd modified to look threatening. They bought it, he whispered incredulously. They actually bought it. In truth, he had managed to use the alien communication system to broadcast a distress signal to the nearest military outposts. But global transmission? Pure bluff. Setting up defensive positions? He just moved around quickly enough to create multiple heat signatures. And the explosives? Just the remaining alien ships he disabled, positioned strategically to look like a trap that a distant rumbling made him look up. The massive alien mothership was ascending, becoming smaller against the night sky until it was just a bright that eventually disappeared altogether. TJ laughed, a slightly hysterical sound that echoed across the empty Outback. Sergeant Wells is never going to believe this. As if on cue, the sound of approaching helicopters reached his ears. The cavalry, arriving hours after the battle, was already WON. TJ stood, dusting himself off and trying to look professional despite being covered in dirt, sweat, and alien fluid. He practiced his report in his head. Yes, sir. I single-handedly repelled an alien invasion by bluffing my way through first contact. No, sir, I'm not making this up. Yes, sir, there's physical evidence. The helicopters landed and teams of heavily armed soldiers poured out, securing the area. A familiar figure approached, Sergeant Wells himself, looking both bewildered and impressed as he surveyed the wreckage of alien craft. Jackson, what the hell happened here? Your distress call mentioned aliens. The sergeant's voice was laden with disbelief. That TJ straightened to attention, saluting. Sir, I can explain everything. And he did, watching as the sergeant's expression cycled through disbelief, shock, and finally grudging respect. When he finished, Wells was silent for a long moment. Then, so you were telling me that garbage duty saved the planet? Yes, sir. Seems that way, sir. Wells shook his head, a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Only you, Jackson. Only you could turn trash collection into first contact. He clapped TJ on the shoulder. Come on, the brass is going to want to debrief you. And something tells me garbage duty is no longer in your future. As they walked toward the helicopter, TJ glanced up at the stars one last time. Somewhere up there, an alien commander was explaining to his superiors how one friendly human soldier had managed to rout an entire invasion force. Sir, TJ said as they boarded the helicopter. Yeah, Jackson, do you think they will come back? Sergeant Wells looked at the alien technology scattered across the landscape, then back at TJ. God help them if they do. 5 years later, Commander Zaxvor stood before the Dominion High Council, mandibles held high despite the disgrace of his previous failure. You wish to return to the human world? High Counselor Nexari's voice echoed through the chamber. After your spectacular retreat, Zaxvor had expected this. Honorable Council, I come with new information. We have been monitoring the humans since our strategic withdrawal. They have developed remarkably quickly, incorporating elements of our technology into their own. All the more reason to avoid them. Another counselor interjected. Perhaps, Zaxvor agreed, or perhaps an opportunity, not for conquest, but for alliance. The chamber erupted in shocked clicks and hisses. Alliance? With primitives? Nexari was scandalized. With a species that demonstrates extraordinary adaptability and unpredictable problem-solving, Zaxvor countered. Our analysts have been studying them intensively. Their greatest strength is not their technology or their numbers, but their diversity of thought. They approach problems from angles our species would never consider. And the one who defeated you? This, TJ. Zaxvor's upper eyes blinked in what the council might not recognize as amusement. He has become something of a celebrity among their kind, an ambassador for planetary defense. And, he hesitated, he has been attempting to re-establish contact with us. This silenced the council. The human extends an invitation for peaceful dialogue, Zaxvor continued. I volunteer to represent the Dominion in these talks. The council deliberated, their clicks and whistles too low for Zaxvor to interpret. Finally, Nexari spoke. Your request is granted, Commander. But be warned, this human has bested you once before. Do not underestimate him again. Zaxvor bowed deeply. Never again, Counselor. On Earth, in a specially constructed facility in the Australian Outback, TJ adjusted his new dress uniform. The single star on his shoulder still felt strange. General Jackson, head of the newly formed United Earth Defense Force. They are entering our solar system now, sir. His aide reported that TJ nodded. Right on schedule. Make sure the welcome committee is ready. Yes, sir. Sir, are you sure about this? After what they tried to do? TJ smiled, remembering that terrified private in a garbage truck who had somehow bluffed his way through an alien invasion. Sometimes, the most powerful weapon isn't guns or bombs, he said. Sometimes, it's just convincing the other guy that fighting isn't in his best interest. He straightened his tie and headed for the landing pad where, in minutes, Commander Zaxvor would arrive. This time, hopefully, as a friend rather than a conqueror. As the alien ship descended, TJ couldn't help but grin. Let's show them how us friendly humans really do diplomacy. Behind him stood representatives from every nation on Earth, united at last. It had taken an alien invasion, or the threat of one, to bring humanity together. Now they faced the stars not as divided nations, but as a single world. The ship landed, its ramp extending to touch Earth's soil. The door opened, and a familiar insectoid figure emerged. TJ stepped forward, extending his hand. Welcome back to Earth, Commander. This time, let's start over. Hi, I'm TJ, and all my friends call me that. After a moment's hesitation, the alien extended one of his four limbs. Greetings, TJ. Yum Zaxvor. Perhaps we too can become friends. TJ's smile widened. I like that very much. And trust me, you made the right choice coming back peacefully. Oh, the alien's head tilted. Yeah, because now you get to meet all the humans who aren't as friendly as me. Behind him, Earth's unified military stood at attention, weapons at the ready, just in case the Zaxvor made a sound that TJ had learned to interpret as laughter. I suspected as much. Together, human and alien walked toward the facility, beginning a new chapter in galactic relations. one that started with a garbage truck and a friendly soldier who had convinced an entire alien armada that humans were not to be underestimated.